The Jags win again, take full control of the division. If you're new to the channel, we make videos for teams that are ignored by the national media. Jacksonville being one of those teams, both of these teams really being that. In the AFC, talk about the other teams, but the Jags, the Texans don't get talked about enough. And we're Detroit Lions fans, so we get it. We root for the Jags and the Texans really in different conferences, far away, rooting for you. So want to give you an unbiased look at how I think the Jags just kind of outsmarted the rest of the NFL with the moves that they made the last couple of years to put them in the position to really the driver's seat of the AFC South. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at a couple of the key plays from this great game against the Texans because um, remember, let's look here at the standings now, and you look at the AFC South. Really, the Jags full control. Colts even win again. Shout out to them. That's pretty cool. But they have a 2-game lead with 5 games remaining. So, really in a good place, or 6 games remaining. So the Jags are in a good spot. Let's take a look at some of the key plays. The last kick, a huge 58-yard field goal just falls short. I mean, literally probably one more foot and it would have bounced in. So, I mean, that was crazy. Kelvin Ridley, another guy, and we'll talk about him in just a second, making big plays, doing all kinds of things. Lawrence found Ridley open on the right side for a 45-yard gain, 2 interference penalties on blah, 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 blah. Jaguars first and goal. Then he finds Ridley in the back of the end zone on consecutive plays. One was for a touchdown, and the other one was for a 2-point conversion to go 21-14. Boom, you're up by 7. Life's good. Um, Another one was after the Texans cut the lead to 10-7, the Jaguars pushed the lead to 6, largely because of a big play from an unexpected source. Lawrence on 1st and 15 from the 20 threw to a wide open tight end, Luke Farrell. The third-year veteran ran down the right sideline and carried multiple Texan defenders 38 to the Texans 38 for a 42-yard gain. So this was just kind of like a get the get the get the team pumped type of thing. I loved it. Okay, here's the deal. The Jags hire, don't forget, and this is how they've just kind of outsmarted everybody. In 2021, don't forget where they were. They got young Trevor Lawrence. So it's like, man, you know what? We'll bring in kind of this college guy that's had so much success in Urban Meyer. This is going to be perfect. So they bring in Urban Meyer, pay him like $12 million a year. Dan Campbell makes like $4 million a year, by the way. It's like Urban Meyer. This is going to be great. And it was an absolute disaster. And so what do? They go and decide, you know what? We are going to fire this dude after 2-11, which I just right there, thank you for making a call when you got to make a call. So they fire him and they go out and look for a new head coach. They interviewed Daryl Bevel, Todd Bowles, who ends up getting the job at Tampa Bay. Nathaniel Hackett, that did not work out good. Matt Eberflus, that did not work out good. Jim Caldwell, that might have been okay. Kellen Moore, he's been recently fired. Bill O'Brien, no, we're not doing that. Bill O'Brien. So there's just these names, right, that you could have been easily tripped up on. But the Jags go out and find Doug Peterson, who replaces Urban Meyer after he went 2-11. And don't forget where the franchise was at this point. Urban Meyer had a string of embarrassing missteps, 2 viral videos when he stayed back in Cleveland at a bar restaurant with a woman, not his coach, or not his wife, berating his coaches and players, hiring a strength coach who was accused of making racist remarks and bullying black players at Iowa. Like, what are we doing? But we say, okay, forget that. We're giving this dude a lot of money. It's over. We're going Doug Peterson. And so what does Doug Peterson provide? When I think of the Jags now, I think of low drama, not many problems, smart quarterback, good drafting, smart free agent pickups. Just the overall vibe is just like, yeah, we're making the right moves. Like, this is crazy. So to see, because to kind of mirror it, right? Dan Campbell was hired in 2021 in a different type of way, right? First year, really bad. I mean, not like Urban Meyer, just bad, had a rough roster. And then it's like, oh, turn it around. Things are coming together. Doug Peterson, Dan Campbell, two different styles, but the same type of thing. Hey, look, we're just going to make it hard for you to beat us. That is the biggest thing I noticed from the Lions this year and from the Jags, even teams like the Texans, but the Jags more, even more embody this, where it's just going to be hard to beat us. Like, you can say all kinds of things, but if we don't turn the ball over or do anything crazy where we have like 4 turnovers, it's just going to be hard to beat us because they're well coached. They manage the ball. They're balanced on offense. And so this team went from being a train wreck just a couple years ago to the Jags deserve a lot of credit for settling things down, getting the right quarterback, the right coach, drafting well, free agency. Like ETN was just like a reach at the end of the first round a couple years ago. Great. Kelvin Ridley. Oh, you don't want to, he's been out of football. Great. I mean, you go all through this roster. They've got playmakers on offense, very steady and strong defensively. So now the AFC that was once controlled and going to go through Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Browns, Ravens, name the team, right? What about the Jags? This is a team that can make a run. They're steady Eddie. They just keep making the plays when they have to make them. And now they look up and they are 8-3. And check out the games that they have left, really, is what I like looking at. Bengals and Browns, 2 games that just looked like, oh man, like Bengals, Browns, Ravens. Like these 4 games right here were just like, oh, we'll find out. But Bengals lose their quarterback. Browns lose their quarterback. Ravens, tough game. Get it. Buccaneers, they're falling apart. Panthers, worst team in football. Titans, they're falling apart. So you got 3 hard games, 3 manageable games coming up. And the hard games aren't even that bad anymore. So love what the Jags are doing. They're smart. Like they're running their franchise smart. They're running games smart. Everything is just well done from top to bottom. And I think that's why the Jags are a team that we do a lot on this channel, because the national media just completely ignores them when they should absolutely be talked about at the top of the AFC. Not just like, oh yeah, they're winning the AFC South. AFC South's good. Colts, good. You can't deny that the Colts are a good team. I mean, they are playing well. Texans, good. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. Again, if you're new to the channel, we make videos for teams that get ignored by the national media. We're Detroit Lions fans, so we try to give you an unbiased opinion and look into your team from the outside that maybe you didn't realize or think about much. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.